Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. Yeah. I think since I've been doing the gong things, the cats have evacuated. They no longer want to be down there with us. I feel terrible about that. Anyway, we're working in reverse alphabetical order. We just finished with Skalkatas, and so we're in the I's, because there aren't too many composers whose name begins with S.J. I'm sure there are some. I mean, there must be some, but I don't have any down here, so it's my fault. And we start with S.I., or the end of S.I., and Simon and Garfunkel. This was my youth, my childhood, and I love them still. I think they're some of the most amazing songs that were written in the 1960s and 70s. When were they written, actually? 1970s, is this? I don't know. They were just fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And I've got a bunch of, 5 albums. First, Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Yes, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Just plain water. What a great song that is. I just love these. Cecilia, I used to sing that all the time. El Condor Pasa. And So Long, Frank Lloyd Wright, The Boxer. I mean, these are Bye Bye Love. Remember that? Oh, gosh, this is great. Great songs. Then we've got Sounds of Silence, one of the all-time great songs ever. I mean, Paul Simon was a real poet. He really was. Major composer, these guys. Let's see, Leaves That Are Green, Kathy's Song, Angie, Richard Corey, A Most Peculiar Man. We've got A Groovy Thing Going, and then I Am a Rock. Yeah, those songs. And we have Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. I mean, each one of these albums was absolutely iconic, amazing stuff. Are you coming to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. Why don't they have dates on any of these things? I wonder what it's got to have a date somewhere. No, I don't see. I'm going to look, because it's just making me crazy. I mean, I know how old I was, but let's see, Ralph. No, I don't see any dates. I don't see dates. Strange, isn't it? All right, well, never mind. So we've got that one. It's got Scarborough Fair, and then let's see, Cloudy. Remember Cloudy? Homeward Bound, the big bright green pleasure machine. You know, one of those fabulous songs, dedicated to sex and drugs and rock and roll. Feeling Groovy. Oh my goodness. I mean, a simple desultory Philippic, or How I was Robert McNamara'd into Submission. For Emily, A Poem on the Underground Wall, The 7 O'Clock News, and Silent Night. I mean, these were great. Okay. Then we've got Wednesday Morning, 3 a.m. You Can Tell the World, The Last Night I Had the Strangest Gift, Bleecker Street, Benedictus, The Sounds of Silence, again, He Was My Brother, Go Tell It on the Mountain, The Sun is Burning, The Times They Are A-Changin', and Wednesday Morning, 3 a.m. And last but not least, and totally fabulously, amazingly, the soundtrack to The Graduate. Oh, yes, absolutely. And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Incredible, fabulous, terrific bunch of songs that they used in the film. It's a great movie, too. That's Dustin Hoffman. Okay, we've done Simon and Garfunkel. I just love them. Then we've got we have Valentin. Alan comes later. Valentin Silvestrov with a V. There are a lot of Silvests. And we have Symphony No. 5 and his Postludium, symphonic poem for piano and orchestra. He's, the Ukrainian composer. His music is really quite haunting, as often as not. Often it's based on some sort of silence or meditative trance-like thing, and partly minimalist, but partly not. And we've got his Requiem for Larissa on ECM. These are all the ECM things. And the cello and piano sonata, the string quartet No. 1, and let's see, Postludium No. 1, which I can't even see because these things are so printed with illegible type. Postludium No. 2 for violin, No. 3 for cello and piano, and him 2001 with Silvestrov himself at the piano. And then we've got this one, Meta Music, Symphony for Piano and Orchestra, which is really cool. You should hear that if you don't know it. And this is Postludium again, because that's on the Sony recording, and now it's here on ECM. So that's Silvestrov stuff. Some more of it is upstairs, actually. But this is Silvestrov Overflow. Then we've got Silvestris, right? So this is more in the Silvestrists. Remember this? Constantin Silvestris. This is the box of stuff that was licensed from EMI before Icon came out and gave us the bigger Silvestrov box. With some of these were in mono and those were in stereo, but we had to get this because there was no other way to get, Silvestris stuff. And it's amazing. If you don't have the Silvestris box, the other one on EMI, then you're in big trouble. This, I think, is long gone. I really think it's been gone for ages now. But I got it because I had no choice, and it is wonderful. And I really was happy. It's 10 CDs. I was really, really happy when Warner, now then EMI, released the Silvestrov box set, which I think had, 12 or 15 CDs. I have a bunch of them in the box sets. We don't need to talk about that now. Then we get Alan Silvestri. There we go, the film music composer. We have The Abyss, which was wonderful, and Back to the Future. Two great film scores. The Abyss was particularly powerful and nifty, and Back to the Future is fun. And this is a new recording. This is with Joel Debney and the Royal Scottish National Orchestra on Varese Saraband, and you get Back to the Future parts 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, that's really a nice way to get you all the best of the Back to the Future stuff. This one is the original soundtrack. This is the original soundtrack recording to The Abyss, which is a great movie. Oh, just fantastic. And last but not least, Roberto Sierra on Koss Classics with the Milwaukee Symphony under Zdenek Motzal, his joyous overture, Tropicalia, and Idilio and Sasima and Preambulo, a bunch of his works since this came out, this will have a date, 1994. Thank you. A bunch of his works have been recorded since by Naxos, and I've reviewed them. You can see reviews at classicstoday.com and whatnot. He's Puerto Rican, a fine composer. He uses a lot of Latin American stuff, but not in a cheesy way, I don't think, anyway. I think his works are quite solid, and this was a wonderful introduction to him. This was the first disc dedicated to his music that I heard. It may have been the first one that came out that anybody heard. It was entirely dedicated to Sierra. So there you go. A big pile of stuff. Well, a nice pile of stuff, ranging from rock and roll, classic rock, to contemporary classical, to great conductors, to film music, to Roberto Sierra. It's quite a selection, isn't it? Thank you for joining me here in the Overflow room. Keep on listening.